Starting us off at number 10 is Jeffree Star. He is now known for being the biggest beauty YouTuber in the world, but before his success in makeup, he was actually a musician and he looked a lot different than he does now. He actually gained a lot of fame on MySpace back in the day for being in the alternative music scene. During that time, he had a very different look, which actually started in high school. You'll notice that one thing he's always been into was makeup. Even in high school, he was drawing on his eyebrows and rocking different bright colored eyeshadow. Over time, he got more involved in the makeup world and started his own YouTube channel. That is where people got to know him as the beauty guru that he is today. You will now see his entire body covered in tattoos, even part of his face. He wears longer wigs, lipstick, high fashion dresses sometimes, but has always kept the same makeup. You honestly just can't take him away from the eyeshadow. I swear he was like born with it. Like he started wearing eyeshadow when he was probably like a little toddler. Bella Hadid. There is no denying the model is drop dead gorgeous, and despite her transformation, she was stunning from the start. She made her way up on the modeling ranks and now has a very successful career because of her beauty. But throughout her career, people have shared photos of her before modeling and they were shocked to see just how different she looks. To reiterate, not that she was ugly before, but she got plastic surgery and obviously that makes you look different. She didn't change her face so drastically where you can't recognize her before a picture, and her plastic surgery looks as complimentary and natural as possible. But when you compare her photos before and after plastic surgery, there is a noticeable difference, which is usually the point of cosmetic surgery because it is to change certain things about yourself, right? Cruising into the number 8 spot is John Travolta. In the 70s, women were drooling over this heartthrob who always brought that Saturday night fever. His naturally good looks won over the hearts of many people, which is why people were surprised to hear he eventually underwent plastic surgery. It became a big topic of conversation online when people started saying his face looked like wax and was completely different than what they were used to seeing. You can still recognize him, but there's no denying that he does look different. The changes on his face clearly show that there were many actions that had to be taken in order for him to look more artificial compared to his old natural look. Many sources have claimed the majority of cosmetic work was a facelift and Botox injections and say it was simply to just fight the signs of aging. Despite how different he looks though, he has talked about it openly and said he is happy with the changes, and that is all that really matters. Moving on to number 7, we have James Charles. If you know who he is now, then you know him as a beauty YouTuber who took over the platform at a fairly young age. But his career didn't start on YouTube, it actually started on The Ellen Show. He was just a teenager when he appeared on The Ellen Show after his high school graduation photos went viral. He didn't like his photos, so he did his own makeup, used a ring light, and created his own version of the photos. After The Ellen Show, he partnered with CoverGirl and became the first ever cover boy. His career quickly took off from there and he started his own makeup line and then a YouTube channel. People were completely shocked to see what he looked like before and how much his look has changed since before the world knew him. In recent years, his overall look has stayed the same, but he has admitted to some cosmetic procedures. He did tell his fans he has lip fillers and Botox and said that he will always be open about it. We'll see. In spot number 6 is Shane Dawson. He's earned himself the title of being the king of YouTube for the journey he has gone on for the past 9 years. He was one of the OG YouTubers that people fell in love with for his edgy humor, which only came back to haunt him later on in his career. But that is not what this list is about. Not only did his content evolve, but so did his looks. When he first started on YouTube, he looked incredibly different. He was rocking some long hair that he would straighten, and then he would comb his straightened bangs to the side. And when it came to his style, he had more an edgy punk look and would often wear vests with ties, you know, kind of like how Avril Lavigne used to wear them. But as his career continued, he ended up turning to vlogs and even the world of beauty. He now has short hair, facial hair, and his weight has always fluctuated throughout his career, which also makes him look different at times. Halfway through our list at number 5 is Jennifer Coolidge. The actress, best known for her role as Stifler's mom in the American Pie franchise, has changed her look drastically throughout her career. Plastic surgery in Hollywood is no surprise anymore, and she's never been shy to comment on it. Back in 2014, she said that everyone in Hollywood looks like they have ice cream scoop eyes. She said, "It looks so much like someone scooped the whole eyeball out and put it back in. You have to cut your eyelids off here to look young enough to win film roles." But she also admitted to the work that she has had done and is the first one to say that it is weird. She talked about her injections and said it almost makes you look like you've had a stroke. It's honestly hilarious to listen to her talk about it because she will criticize reconstructing your face, but then she will call herself a frost face. She even compared plastic surgery to the clowns that you see at carnivals. Now, I don't think she looks like a clown at all. I think she's beautiful. You can just tell that she's had work done. That's all. But you usually can tell when people have work done. Next up at number 4, we have Chris Pratt. He might be known these days for his portrayal of Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's also remembered for his days on Everwood and Parks and Recreation. If you've watched him from the start of his career to now, then you've probably seen how much his look has changed over the years. But this isn't plastic surgery related. It's mainly been his weight that has changed and made him look significantly different at times. It was actually his role in Guardians of the Galaxy that made him slim down. The actor said he was around 300 pounds when he first auditioned for the movie, and he dropped 60 pounds in 6 months to play the part. Fans were shocked to see such a drastic transformation in such a short period of time, and of course, everyone wanted to know how he did it. He had a personal trainer, ate 4,000 calories a day, drank tons of water, and worked out 6 days a week. He said he would train anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day. Now, this lifestyle is not necessarily recommended, but it does take a lot of dedication and hard work, so kudos to him. It looks great. Taking over the 3rd spot is Courtney Cox. Anyone who follows me on social media knows that I am a die-hard Friends fan, so I hate that she even qualifies for this list because she is, and always has been, absolutely stunning. She is one of the few women in Hollywood who have been open about the cosmetic procedures they've had done to their face. Just by looking at her photos, you would see that she has had a lot of work done, but she admits it, and she's even said at one point she went too far and that she looked unrecognizable. She said she gradually became addicted to surgery and was taking advice from the wrong people. Over time, she hated the way she looked, so she had all of her fillers removed so that she could look as natural as possible. But when comparing what she used to look like before surgery, her entire face looks reconstructed. Still beautiful, but just very different. She really didn't need to touch her face. It makes me so angry. Taking over our number 2 spot is Taylor Momsen. If you were hooked on the TV series Gossip Girl like I was, then you would know Taylor Momsen for playing Jenny Humphrey in the series. Her character was better known as Little J, and she played the sweet little innocent sister for most of the series. But as the series went on, we saw her character's style and behavior evolve, and we soon realized that she was also evolving in real life outside of her character. She started dressing in darker clothes, wore dark makeup, and had a more edgy rock star vibe going on, which is a big reason why she quit the show. She didn't fit into her character anymore, and she wanted to pursue music. For those who didn't know her on Gossip Girl, they wouldn't know just how much her look has changed because they know her for being in the band The Pretty Reckless. She is now a badass singer for the rock band and looks completely different than she did at the start of her career. In our number 1 place is Mickey Rourke. The actor's transformation has been one of the most talked about. People were shocked when paparazzi photos surfaced of him looking like a completely different person. He's been in the Hollywood limelight for decades, so people were used to seeing his face how they were introduced to him in the 1980s. But his acting career seemed to hit a dead end, and that is when he decided to go back to his first love, which was boxing. Throughout his time fighting, he suffered injuries like broken ribs, a compressed cheekbone, and a split tongue. It was then that he underwent reconstructive surgery of the face. The actor has openly talked about it and said that he went to the wrong surgeon the first time and the outcome was not what he hoped for. So he had to undergo more surgeries to enhance and correct the mistakes. He was also having difficulty breathing and needed surgery again down the road. As of 2017, he has had 5 nose jobs. So the man has been through a lot, to say the least. Starting us off at number 10 is Katie Price. She was a glamour model icon in the 90s, and she's gone under the knife dozens of times to try and hold on to her youthful looks, as many celebrities do. The now 42-year-old has spoken candidly about her transformation and openly admits to looking a lot different than when she started her career. She has spent thousands of dollars on plastic surgery, and in 2019, she was declared bankrupt. She has had 2 facelifts in the matter of 2 years and says she gets her face Botox every 6 months. She also injects fillers into her cheeks to make herself look younger, she says. Those are honestly just a few things. She's also had her eyebrows tattooed on, a nose job, lip fillers, and veneers. Her teeth have actually been one of her biggest transformations and cost her $150,000 to fix. She didn't fix them simply for cosmetics. She actually cracked her teeth when she was younger after she fell off a skateboard. Despite fans commenting on her overall very drastic change, it doesn't seem like she will be stopping the plastic surgery anytime soon. Up next, number 9 is Amanda Bynes. The former child star has changed quite a bit since her big Hollywood debut. She started her career young, so naturally as she grew older, her appearance started to change. But then it got to a point where she turned to plastic surgery, and in 2013, her parents admitted she had body issues and became obsessed with surgery, and large doctor bills would show up to their house. But this all came around the same time that Amanda was having severe struggles with her mental illness. The year prior, she was arrested several times for driving under the influence, and her appearance started to change in paparazzi photos. She wore different colored wigs, and her face began to look different. She eventually disappeared from Hollywood and went in and out of treatment centers, and you will actually now see her with dark hair, a septum piercing, and a face tattoo. Swiping our number 8 spot is Ariana Grande. If you only know Ariana in more recent years for her music, then you wouldn't realize how different she looks now compared to the start of her career. Fans first began to know her when she had bright red hair on the Nickelodeon show Victorious. But when she first auditioned for the show, she actually had dark brown, really curly hair. As she grew older, her appearance started to change, and it has been an ongoing debate on whether or not she has had plastic surgery. People have accused her of fillers, Botox, a brow lift, and even a nose job. People started posting photos online comparing her old nose to how she looks now and claimed she definitely had a nose job done. In 2019, Ariana responded to one of the pictures saying, "Hey, this is my birth nose. What the F did I log onto today? Let me have a cute nose." Damn. She hasn't commented on any of the other claims, so we'll really never know, but either way, she has always been stunning. I can't believe how pretty she was at such a young age. I did not look like that at 12. In spot number 7 is Kim Kardashian. The Kardashian sisters are known for their transformations and the plastic surgery procedures they've had done. But with Kim being the oldest sister and the first one in the spotlight, people were quick to expose her when she started to look different than when she first became known. Perhaps the biggest transformation has been her body, with her breast augmentation and alleged butt implants. People are convinced she has implants in her butt, but she's always denied it and even got an x-ray done on her reality show so people could see that there were no implants inside. However, that does not excuse fillers and other type of work that you can have done. But taking her real or fake butt out of it, her face looks different too. Still beautiful, just different than when she first started out in Hollywood. Moving into spot number 6, we have Christian Bale. He is a special exception on our list because his look changed drastically throughout his career because of movie roles. And one of them was so impressive that there's no way I cannot include it on our list. When he was preparing for the 2004 movie The Machinist, he had to go through a drastic preparation that he said led him into a downward spiral of paranoia and delusion. He had to lose 62 pounds for the role, which made him so incredibly thin that he could hardly walk up a flight of stairs. And even after he was done filming the movie, he had to drastically change his body again in such a short period of time. He only had 6 months to put all of his weight back on and buff up again for his role of Batman in Batman Begins. He managed to pack on a whopping 100 pounds, most of it being rock solid muscle. Halfway through our list at number 5 is JWoww. Back in 2018, the Jersey Shore star made headlines for looking unrecognizable, and experts came forward saying they know why. Fans were convinced she had plastic surgery after she showed up to the Jersey Shore family vacation premiere with a completely different face, but she's previously denied it. But a plastic surgeon named Dr. Martirosyan weighed in on what procedures he thinks she's had done. He said it looks like she got lip fillers, a nose job, cheek augmentation, and other face fillers or implants. But JWoww has always denied going under the knife, and during a 2016 interview, she said her looks changed simply because of her weight and tan. She said, "I haven't gone under the knife. My weight fluctuates, my tan fluctuates. I take it as a compliment because I don't want to look like the girl that was 25 walking into the Jersey Shore house anymore with no knowledge on makeup." She has admitted though to getting non-invasive procedures though to like stay youthful. I feel like that still counts. That's still cosmetic procedures. Rolling into spot number 4 is Vicki Gunvalson. The Real Housewives star has caused a big debate throughout her career on whether or not she also has had plastic surgery. This seems to be a pattern on our list today. Fans were used to seeing it on the show. Almost every single housewife in the franchise has been getting augmentations, Botox, fillers, facelifts, so people automatically assumed that she was one of them. In more recent years, she is looking significantly different, and fans are convinced she has gone under the knife again. She did confirm during an interview in 2018 that she had a facelift, so now people don't really believe her when she denies other work. She removed her fillers from her face at the time and had a lower facelift done, which fans got to see at the end of the season. She's not one to usually hide the work she's had done. She's always been the one to say that it is her body and she wants to make herself look the best she can. So does she look different? Very. But is she happy? Yes. And I guess that's all that matters. In our third spot is Portia de Rossi. In 2013, she started making headlines that said, "What happened to her face?" The articles referred to the show that she was on, Arrested Development, and said the lack of excitement for the 4th season could be due to the fact that one of its stars, Portia, is unrecognizable. People were tweeting about her new face and how different she looked. It didn't help that all the news outlets gathered 4 different plastic surgeons to weigh in on the situation. But Portia has always been very open about her struggle with Hollywood's beauty standards. In her book called Unbearable Lightness, she talked about her decades-long struggle with anorexia and how she always felt the pressures of the industry. So for her to change and tweak things on her face and body isn't all that surprising. She's always been beautiful and still is, but she looks very different than she did at the beginning of her career. Making her way into number 2 is Megan Fox. People were quick to fall in love with her when she appeared in the Transformers movies. It was hard not to, since she was one of the hottest girls in Hollywood at the time, and probably still is, depending on who you ask. But in more recent years, you may have noticed that she looks a lot different than she did when we first got to know her. In 2010, when she showed up to the premiere of Jonah Hex, people were shocked at how different her face looked and said she almost looked cat-like. Keep in mind, she was just 24 years old at the time of this photo, and when you look at it, she looks a lot older because of the fillers and Botox in her face. Since then, her face has continued to change as she got older. She is still just as stunning, but very different compared to that fresh face look that we were seeing at the start of her career. Earning the number 1 spot is Donatella Versace. She might be one of the most talked about transformations because of how drastic her changes were. Articles have used her as an example for reasons not to go under the knife and claim that her plastic surgeries have left her botched. She's actually denied having plastic surgery on more than one occasion, but it's very obvious that her face has undergone a lot of changes throughout her career. Many surgeons have come forward with their predictions and have said it appears that she's had pretty much everything done on her face, but that her nose is the most natural. When asked about her face, she says that she inherited this smooth skin appearance from her father and said that she uses tons of face creams to keep her looking this way. Despite the reasoning for the change in her face, there is no denying how different she looks, and I will let you decide if you think she got plastic surgery or not. Because I'll keep my opinion to myself. I think she had.
Sahar is an Iranian social media star whose drastic appearance skyrocketed her to fame. People call her the zombie Angelina Jolie because of her corpse-like features. Some say that her appearance is both terrifying and intriguing because her sunken features baffle the minds of a lot of her followers. So how did this happen? How did she end up looking this way, because she certainly was not born with these exaggerated features, and how have people reacted to her insane appearance? Before I get into things, please go ahead and leave us a like on the video because your likes really help us out a lot. So Sahar Tabar, also known as Zombie Angelina Jolie, has risen to fame online because of her looks. Things started to take off for her in 2017 after posting pictures of herself on Instagram. She soon racked up hundreds of thousands of followers on social media because people were so intrigued with her drastic looks. Once she got media attention, people started asking the question on everybody's minds, this being, how did this happen? Sahar told sources that she had undergone over 50 plastic surgeries in order to look like her favorite actress, Angelina Jolie. Once these answers got out, fans went from being puzzled about her appearance to being a little horrified that she got so many procedures done, which resulted in her achieving this eerie sunken-in look. Trans model Amanda Lepore is another celebrity who's undergone a number of surgeries to achieve the look that she has now, but she doesn't even come close to the level of alteration that Sahar has achieved. This 20-year-old corpse bride, as some have taken to calling her, has seemingly done the impossible and has changed the entire structure of her face to make herself look more beautiful. Or at least this is what people were led to believe for a long time. After blowing up on social media and going along with this story that 50 surgeries achieved this drastic zombified look, Sahar came clean about everything, and it's a little shocking. Turns out everything was a lie. The zombie Angelina look, the story of how she got to look this way, and even her name turned out to be one huge lie. Sahar's real name turned out to be Fatima Kishvand, and no, she hasn't really gotten 50 surgeries either. Her entire corpse bride look comes entirely from Photoshop, as it turns out. After posting a side-by-side comparison to her Instagram, she came clean to her followers, showing how she really looks. I mean, for a long time, people suspected that Sahar's look were the result of Photoshop and makeup because the images looked so unnatural. But it's still so crazy to see her before and after pictures. The image on the left shows Tabar in her natural state. No sunken in eyes or giant lips or sharpened cheek and jawbones. She looks like a normal, albeit very beautiful woman. The image on the right shows what people had thought she looked like for years. She captioned the image revealing her editing secret, saying, quote, "People are probably living in the 18th century and they haven't seen or heard of technology or makeup and they're really surprised," end quote. I mean, I'll give it to her, that almost mummified version of herself really does look like Angelina Jolie in a way, but it's also a little nightmare-inducing, not gonna lie. All in all, the facial structure was faked. Her lips were enhanced in post, and her icy blue eyes were just contacts that she used to enhance the look. Sahar has admitted to getting some work done, but not nearly as much as she once lied about. No, instead the influencer has gotten a quote, "nose job, enlarged mouth, and liposuction." Now that we know the truth, it's no harm, no foul, right? Well, think again. Tabar's online antics were taken very harshly by the Iranian government, and so she was charged with corruption of young people and disrespect to the Islamic Republic. The influencer started off trolling people online with drastic looks, and instead of making people laugh, it made people mad. Her doctored selfies aren't the only things that led to her arrest, but it's the most prevalent reason. Now Sahar is sentenced to 10 years in prison for her online antics, and her Instagram account has been deactivated. Tabar's lawyers have been trying to get her freed after some of her other charges like blasphemy and inciting violence were dropped, and even after she contracted COVID-19 while behind bars. This hasn't seemed to work though, but there are still some who are looking for support for the influencer. Masih Alinejad, an Iranian journalist and activist, even contacted the real Angelina Jolie for help freeing Sahar, since the actress is known for her humanitarian efforts. It seemed only fitting for Angelina to free her doppelganger. Alinejad has said publicly that this punishment is not fair, saying, quote, "Islamic Republic has a history of tormenting women. We need to be united against this gender apartheid," end quote. It's so crazy to think that this girl's effort at trolling the internet with her drastic looks has resulted in her getting jail time. I have to say, I kind of feel bad for her. I mean, I don't know their laws over there, so I'm not really one to interject, but I feel like a 10-year sentence is a little harsh. But then again, there could be a bunch of other undisclosed information about this case that we don't know about.